We now return to Reckoning of New York. Nadir, main quest. We made it. I don't know how, but we did. And now, let the chips fall where they may. By the moment we lurch through the door to the temporary Elysium, I'm totally worn out. Julia practically slides off my shoulders and crumples to the floor while I crouch down next to her and put my head between my knees. But while I try to calm the panic that's kept me going the past few hours, she moves her only working arm, pulls out a packet of smokes, and tries to retrieve a cigarette from it. Fruitlessly, I might add. Ah, shit. Give me a hand here, will you? Wordlessly, I place a cigarette between her lips and light it up. She takes a long drag, staring vacantly at the ceiling. Pedrick limps over, gives me a comforting pat on the shoulder, and then plops down beside me. We're all simply exhausted. So much has happened, so much has changed, so much has gone to shit. More and more people trickle in, bringing news in hushed whispers. Most of the assembled kindred managed to escape just before the explosion hit. Some are injured, some more than others, but in the end, they got away just fine. Prince Bernard got it rough, though. I mean, she's still in one piece and conscious, which is more than can be said about Aisling, but her injuries are pretty severe. She'll need a few days to fully recover. She'll be back on her feet soon. Aisling, however, well, her wounds are critical, and it's unclear how long it'll take for her to emerge from torpor. Meanwhile, Addison Payne and his servant are nowhere to be found. His abandoned wheelchair is the only clue they left behind. There's a rising commotion in the background, but I don't even feel like lifting my head to see what it's all about. The sounds reach my ears as if my head has been plunged underwater. I only realize that something's wrong when Pedrick gets up and limps over to a couple of kindred having a heated argument, his arms raised in a pacifying gesture which, by now, he should know, hardly ever works. Fucking hell, the absolute last thing we need is a pointless kindred scuffle. I'm about to drag myself to go make sure Pedrick keeps his head attached to his shoulders and his teeth where they belong when the door opens with a loud thud. Cut it out, all of you. Silence engulfs the room. Only Julia, unperturbed, takes another drag of her cigarette and lazily expels the smoke. Kadir and Valerie stride into the temporary shelter, looking like they've been through hell. They're covered in blood, clothes dirty and ripped in places, but while multiple gashes and scratches mark their skin, they seem relatively unharmed. Kadir moves to the middle of the room, standing tall with his shoulders squared and jaw set. Every conscious eye follows him with hawkish attention. Our counterattack was successful. We managed to rout the remaining assailants with no further losses. Valerie joins him, standing at attention, hands clasped behind her back. We were not followed to this location, and since Elysium is newly established, or this Elysium is newly established, its whereabouts remain secret. Rest assured, we are secure here for the time being. Kadir surveys the room with a stern gaze, his brow furrowed, and furrowing even deeper when he sees Pedrick and me. For now, however, he barks out an order to one of his hounds. You, give me a complete status report on everything that occurred in our absence. Yes, Sheriff. He gives a brief summary of what's happened during Kadir and Valerie's murderous rampage, including a tally of the final dead and the wounded. Kadir remains unmoved throughout, rooted to the spot in this weird manner where he seems to be held back by the very fury that yearns to propel him forward. This is the third time I'm seeing him in my own life, and I've never been more certain. Kadir is the most terrifying kindred I have ever met. I'd rather claw my way out through a mile of bricks than be stuck in a room alone with him. Sense the beast, I guess, huh? As opposed to doing nothing. Take a closer look. The tiny embers of my inner beast tentatively reach out, feeling blindly for its kin, but they meet an inferno instead. Kadir's beast lies coiled just beneath his skin, like an endless, ever-moving serpent of razors and barbs heated up until they glow stark white. I force myself to look away, shivers running up my spine, my forearms covered in goosebumps, when suddenly Kadir snaps his head at me, his eyes narrowed to savage slits. That'll be enough. The hound clamps his mouth shut mid-word. Prince Bernard is in no condition to continue tonight. We will wait the day out here and plan our next steps come nightfall. Any objections? His tone invites none, and none are raised. The kindred start to slowly filter out, looking for a place to bunk down. I tug at Pedrick's sleeve. I think that's our cue to leave. Indeed, let's... Not so fast. In the blink of an eye, he steps right into our path, and even though Pedrick is just as tall, Kadir towers over us both, his mere shadow smothering us in its embrace. He tosses us a look sharper than his blade. Your arrival right before the attack seems far too miraculous for my liking. Crossing the threshold of exhaustion into extreme irritability, I bristle at his words against my better judgment. What's that supposed to mean? We literally saved your asses. Perhaps, or perhaps not. We'll sort that out tomorrow night. For now, I've got just the right resting place for you. You, take them to the basement cell. A cell? You can't be serious. One look from the sheriff is enough to silence me. Neither of us protests as we're escorted down into a clean, unused cell. We do, however, exchange a few whispers. Any brilliant plans to get us out of this mess without landing straight into another one, preferably? He just sighs wearily. Why don't we save the bickering for the evening? I really need rest, and you should get some too. How the hell am I supposed to rest with this fucked up dream playing on loop? No need to be dramatic, Callie. We survived the apocalypse tonight. How much worse can it get? How much indeed. At least the cell is sunproof. That's one less thing to worry about. A few days ago. A few more sips, Edison. There, done. See, that wasn't so hard, was it? Ugh. Look at you getting all relaxed. Think of it as chamomile tea. Nobody drinks it for the flavor, really. Must be tough sipping on blood that's so far below your standards, especially when it's not from your dear circulatory system. But hey, our supplier went the extra mile to make sure it's palatable enough for you. I've been told finding your type with just the right resonance is a bit of a task. Got to tick the boxes for us both, after all. Oh, I'm afraid we must continue this charade a little while longer. We have big plans for you, Addison. Big plans indeed. In the night. That was a short one. Compared to night 4. Bunch of whispering, eternal sunshine of naivety. Journal, logbook, night 5. You save the council's asses, and all you get is a thank you. Or as a thank you is a day in a fucking cell. Whatever. At least Pedrick is still on my side. The chill of concrete, pitch darkness all around, and then voices, distorted, frantic whispers piercing the silence. A cocktail of discomforts jolts me awake from the abyss of undead sleep. In that moment, the bitter truth of last night's mayhem hits me like a falling tower. The assault on Elysium, countless casualties, the absolute chaos. But my eyes don't take long to adapt. I turn in the direction of the voices and spot my cellmate, my partner in doom. Pedrick's perched on the few steps leading down into our cell, huddled up against the basement door like he's becoming part of it, eavesdropping on the racket outside. It's like I'm the real Sleeping Beauty around here. What's up? What's with the drama out there? Something serious is happening. A major upheaval in the Camarilla ranks, most likely. Think we're gonna get caught up in it? You tell me. He slides over, freeing up some space for me by the door. I lean in and press my ear against it, ready for some juicy vampire audio drama. You bask in your own authority, Helena. Blissfully ignorant. A damn epitome of ivory tower behavior. Tread lightly, Sheriff. You are addressing your superior. Superior? By what measure? You truly see yourself standing above us, Helena. Above those who met their final deaths last night? Payne's gone. Ashling's in torpor. Julia barely slipped through the jaws of that many-headed beast. But many others found no such luck. This is the heavy toll of your negligence. Tell me, how many times did I suggest relocating Elysium? Perhaps we should seek to de-escalate. Spare me, Arturo. I want to hear it from her. Dear, you've been so detached you don't even know. Had I not anticipated such a disaster, securing havens and employing safety protocols in advance, where would we stand now? The tension is like a thick fog creeping under the door and enveloping both Pedrick and me, leaving behind a sour sting in the air. This is what happens when you fail to prepare, the dire outcome of inaction when action is crucial. This disaster wouldn't have happened if you had simply done your job. Had you stayed hidden, heeding my directives instead of meddling with mortals? A juvenile excuse matched by an equally juvenile assessment. You were warned repeatedly that the mob with their pitchforks and torches wasn't sitting idle. Yet you ignored the matter and insisted on throwing bodies at the old clan instead of fortifying our lines. Ridiculous, the old clan. For the Samichi, possession is all. They aim to dominate and own the subjects of their possessiveness, jealously guarding it like their namesake dragon would its hoard. I think I probably read this already. Ever since the debacle with Callahan, you've been unraveling, Helena, succumbing to stupor bit by bit. With your harpy puppeteer blind to your decline, Harpy. The Domain Herald, or Harpy, knows everyone and all their secrets, and will share them with others for the right price. Harpy is an originally negative epithet, but some wear it with pride, knowing that the role of information broker is valued in any court. How dare... Oh, just shut it, Arturo. It's common knowledge. Everyone and their sire knows it. A moment of silence descends upon the room. Kadir, the masquerade... Spare me that old refrain. The masquerade ends when the dance floor is engulfed in flames. And quelling those flames was your responsibility. My role is to prevent the fire from starting at all, or to extinguish it swiftly when it does. Instead, under your command, I'm just a latecomer to damage control, while you bash your head against the Simichi wall. You're well aware of our reasons for prioritizing Vritra. We were gaining ground. Were we, Helena? Vritra remains unyielding, unapproachable. She decimates our envoys and clings to their ill-gotten domain like her monstrous namesake. We're clueless about her motives and alliances. It's clear she's quietly executing her plans, yet so far none of her schemes have threatened our interests. Does this shadow play really outweigh gunfire on our streets? Even from this distance, I can tell Pinard's been thrown for a loop. If we'd paid heed to the purge of the Thin Bloods, to the unaccounted kindred deaths beyond our circles, we would have uncovered leads much sooner. Larson's destruction was a glaring warning, ignored because you dismissed him as nothing more than a farce. And now the failures regarding Vritra are mine to bear? He scoffs loudly. For weeks we've known our true adversary was well organized. That alone should have set off the alarms. But the scale... He starts pacing, rapidly losing his cool. How do we know that behind the door? Curse it, Helena. We had Aaron Fletcher in our sights 2 full nights in advance. The evidence was compelling, the strategy laid bare. This catastrophe was entirely avoidable. Fletcher, that very notion sounds ludicrous. I know, right? But when you really think about it... The distinct sound of a lighter igniting breaks the tension for a moment. He's a charismatic multimillionaire, totally ostracized by the public for his extremist beliefs, notorious for spouting the wildest shit. And the rumors about gun running? Spot on, according to what I've dug up. Plus, he's got his hands on some top-tier tech, which would certainly help in his obsessive hunt. His deep pockets and sheer zealotry are what's keeping this whole circus afloat. Ludicrous as it sounds, the pieces align perfectly. As the court's argument dies down for a while, I throw Pedrick a confused look. He mirrors it, though he manages to appear more collected. Then a chilling clarity descends upon me. The influential mortal mentioned in the circulatory system documents. He's the head of the hunters who are terrorizing New York. Let him say it? I mean, this character doesn't exactly shut up, does she? So, like, Pedrick, I think I just pieced together something major. Aaron Fletcher is the influential mortal who's been buying arms from your sire. Journal entry? Characters? Aaron Fletcher. Tech mogul. An extremely wealthy entrepreneur and investor, Aaron Fletcher holds several technological patents that have secured his position among the world's most successful businessmen. However, after the sudden murder of his daughter, which he publicly attributed to a secret conspiracy, he very quickly became the object of worldwide ridicule as a paranoid fool. Undeterred by public opinion, he joined forces with a like-minded hunter who was tracking the undead killer of his daughter. With Fletcher's financial support, contacts, and organizational skills, they formed the Hunter Offensive, a gathering of unprecedented magnitude aimed at eradicating vampires from New York City. What about all the other creatures in the world of darkness in New York? Can't you ever just pretend to be clueless? Like, oh, really, Kali? Do tell. My brain's too damn small to connect the dots. Apologies, it was an instinctive response. Whatever. It's all bullshit no matter how you slice it. The deeper I dig, the further I dissociate from the person I thought I was. Am I the idiot here, or is Reynard really the fucking incarnation of deceit? Either way, I'm devastated. Just then the court drama starts back up, yanking me back to the present. I press closer to the door, straining my ears again. What do you propose, then? A booming thud signals the introduction of Kadir's fist to some innocent piece of furniture. There's a time for courtesy and a time for heads to roll. I call for the latter. We must crush this mob, snap their pitchforks, and smother their torches, and for that to happen, Aaron Fletcher must die. Bernard's quiet surrender says it all. She's out. Damn, Pedrick called it. The tides are shifting. Valerie, mobilize our forces. Remind them that caution is paramount. The streets have yet to be cleansed. Reach out to Torque. Is that wise, Kadir? The potential fallout of the Anarchs turning on us seems disproportionate to the benefits. We've skirted around the edge of peace for far too long. I'm not taking any chances. Besides, we need to put their allegiance to the test. Speaking of which, we're currently hosting one in the basement, along with another matter that needs attention. I'm sure our mediator would make for a fine messenger, too, but we have to sort out the issue of his companion. Enough. You, bring them here, now. Understood, sir. I jerk away from the door, its cold surface suddenly burning my hand. Shit, fuck. Out of nowhere, I feel Pedric's hand on my arm, steadying me with what's meant to be a reassuring touch. It's not unwelcome, just unexpected. Take it easy, Cully. We'll get through this. No, we won't. Yeah, no, it's over. I'm fucked. Didn't I swear to stick by you? I plan on keeping that promise. All the things we dug up. We've got enough evidence to shut them up. Trust me. Just... His words are cut off by the screeching of the basement door. That goon I ran into my first night outside Elysium pokes his head into the cell. They're waiting for you upstairs. His eyes, so full of pity, like he's looking at someone already doomed. I sag, completely drained. Pedric gives the goon a nod and heads out. Reluctantly, I trail behind. The remnants of the once formidable Primogen Council stare us down as we approach Kadir. He's not as wild-eyed as he was last night, when he went on that rampage, but the intensity's still there. Hell, it's even sharper than the first time I laid eyes on him. He gives me a look that reeks of judgment. And then, just like that, he grabs his scimitar from the rack. Fuck. You're free to leave now, Caitiff. I take it you've lingered by the basement door long enough. Inform your Baron friend of the course of action. I intend to, but I'd like to see this through. She was my responsibility, after all. Very well. Shit. As you may have noticed, we're on the clock here, and I have little patience for your charades. You promised Castle's head on a plate, and yet here we stand, empty-handed. At this juncture, any Ravno's head would suffice to lift my spirits. Feeling the blade's edge against my neck is, I'd be shaking if that didn't require extra effort. One reason. Give me one good reason not to take yours. Desperate, I glance at Pedric, silently pleading for a lifeline, but it's the sheriff's gaze that captures mine. Gaze filled with something wild, like a storm, like an endless hunger, and... oh, deception. Fucking deception. Then it all crashes down on me, hard as a knockout blow. Oh, you sneaky fucks. You knew. You knew the whole fucking time. Golly, listen. Christ, how could I be such an idiot? Ease your wrath, young raven. No, my wrath stays. I smack Kadir's blade away from my neck, nicking my wrist in the process. Strangely, I feel nothing but a seething fury. All this bullshit with Praxis, dragging the system into it, the arms dealing. You fuckers were in the loop the entire time, using me to draw Reynard out. Arturo smirks at me like I'm a joke. Julia gives a single sarcastic clap. Look at you, playing detective. Kadir looks me over, then lowers his weapon a notch. I suppose there's little point in keeping this charade up, is there, Prince? Your further attempts to degrade my position are less than welcome. Unfazed, Kadir speaks again. Indeed, our strategy was to draw Castle out into the open to unveil the buyer in his arms deal. His knack for evasion has made him a challenging quarry. We had strong suspicions that he, wittingly or unwittingly, supplied the mob that ravaged Elysium last night. Given the man's reputation, it's not far-fetched to assume he would deal with the literal devil. You're closer to him. Make of that what you will. Cold fury is all I have. I'm crushed about Reynard, about everything. Jess was right all along. That's when you enter the picture. Or that's when you enter the picture. You chose the caitiff as your caretaker. You choosing the caretaker. Fuck, let's try this again. You choosing the caitiff as your caretaker. It's just an unexpected bonus. This close to losing it. And for what? All for fucking nothing. Not quite. Your endeavor, though it didn't pan out as intended, played a crucial role in cornering Aaron Fletcher. And as for the other misdemeanors of your sire, they now pale in comparison. We've gathered what we need to douse the true inferno before us. And why not focus on extinguishing that blaze, Sheriff, and leave the minor irritations as they are? Irritations, really? We've achieved our aim by taking advantage of her limitless naivety. I think it's time to release her. I'm about to snap at him when Kadir raises his blade again. Knowingly or not, she was complicit in Castle's schemes, including those that led to the assault on Elysium. In my eyes, that warrants capital punishment. I didn't. Suddenly, Pedric steps in, placing himself between me and Kadir's sharp blade. Ease off, Sheriff. Sheathe your weapon. Reserve its sting for the true culprits. Perhaps. Perhaps you have a point, mediator. Rose and I watched the blade inch closer to Pedric's skin. Kadir, cut the shit, please. Enough is enough. They were there for us last night. look beyond your fury. Recognize Kali for what she truly is, a blind tool in the schemes of a seasoned manipulator. Her death achieves nothing. It won't deliver Castle into our hands. It won't undo the past. It serves no purpose other than to satiate your thirst for carnage. Which I think you might have done already last night. With enough kindred already lost, there's no need to add to the body count. Stuck. Fucking paralyzed. It pisses me off the way he's talking about me like I'm just a pawn in their game, even if he's doing it to save my ass. But I can't even tell if he's really trying to protect me or just using me to further his own goals. Kadir and Pedric are in a standoff, their eyes locked in a battle of domination, but that damn blade hovering in the air speaks louder than any of their silent threats. The edge of that scimitar is so damn close to Pedric's neck, it's about to break his skin. Is mine or that stupid fledgling's end truly worth the fallout? Press on and see how Torque's cooperation becomes a distant dream. That gash across Pedric's neck looks like it could open up any second. Not a drop of blood shows. He's cool and collected, the exact opposite of this hot mess right here. Challenge the sheriff? Say nothing? I mean, would I really ever say nothing? She would push her luck, surely. I don't know, like, I feel like we're on the rails here, so I'm kind of thinking that this doesn't end in anything. Either way. I mean, she is supposed to be angry and will challenge the sheriff, but I don't know, like... And he can't kill Pedric because we can metagame that there's that second part of the game with Pedric as the character. I don't know, we can just... whatever, we'll go the middle route. Enough, for fuck's sake! Pedric cuts me off with a gesture. Release her, Sheriff. Just let her go. And then Kadir actually does it. He lowers his weapon, his whole body shaking with barely contained rage. Go, now. I get what he's saying, but my body isn't listening. It's frozen in place, still trying to process the clusterfuck that just went down. How did this... Get out before I change my mind. And never show your face in New York, ever again. Suddenly I can move again, and I almost stumble from the released tension. My gaze flickers to Pedric's. There's something new in his eyes, a storm of thoughts I've never seen before. But in that storm, I recognize regret? Maybe even an apology? Who knows if it's genuine? These past few nights have been a real eye-opener about how much I've misjudged people. One thing's crystal clear, though. It's time to haul ass out of this nightmare. I stumble out into the night, my legs give out, and I crash land on the pavement. Dragging myself up, I glare back at the entrance to the New Elysium. The snow's coming down hard now, much more intensely than earlier, covering the building in a thick white coat. Might have been magical if I wasn't seething with rage. Fuck this, and fuck all of you! God damn, how could I have been such a fucking fool? They're all a bunch of liars, every single one of them. Reynard? What happened to the charmer I thought I knew? Was any of that shit real, or was it all just some fucked up joke to make me the punchline of the entire fucking universe? Pedric? So now I'm just a blind tool, huh? Well, fuck him too. But I get his game, I really do. It's just pathetically sad, is what it is. At least he had my back, which is more than I can say for Reynard. I hope Pedric gets out in one piece. No, I'm done with this city. Should have bailed the second Reynard left me out to dry. My gang needs to hear about this shit show anyhow. Looks like I'm in for a long, remorseful journey. Just what I need. Might as well drop in on D'Angelo. I owe him, and it'd be nice to actually follow through on a promise for once. Anything's better than lingering in this dump. New journal ended. I guess it would be this, huh? No? Chapter 6. All this bullshit about Ritra, dragging the circulatory system into it, the arms dealing. These council fuckers were in the loop the entire time, straight up using me to draw Reynard out. It turned out to be just a bunch of liars and manipulators, every single one of them, Pedric included. Okay. Oh, well, I guess we can afford the detour, and we may as well, if we're tying up a loose end here. Promise and the Monster, detour. I nearly forgot I promised Angelo I'd pick him up on the way out of New York. Better swing by his office. That much I owe him. I'm halfway to where I left my RV before I remember that not only did I promise I'd pick Angelo up on the way out of New York, that he himself asked to leave together more than once. And Angelo, although of unclear usefulness, is the only person in this goddamn city who hasn't lied to, manipulated, or used me. The only person I would still consider a friend. That said, the common denominator between all my former friends is none other than me, but I don't have the energy right now to dig myself into that pit. Anyway, my best boy D'Angelo deserves to have his request honored, so I make a small detour and head toward his bureau. What I find there is not pretty. The whole space has been turned upside down, papers torn and scattered, corkboards toppled over, the bare light bulbs above the desk cracked. But from the lack of bullet holes, scorch marks, broken stakes, etc., I deduce that D'Angelo probably escaped before any hunters laid their grubby paws on him. At least I hope he did. I just look around? I mean... the papers could be anything, but those might likely have a clue. I guess just generally look around. I take a quick look around the room. The ashtray is full of squashed mini-cigs as usual, but the rancid smell is pretty much gone from the air. Can't believe I find myself missing it. A heap of those cheap noir books of his is also gone, as well as the bag of stuff he insisted on keeping for God knows what reason. Guess he really left, huh? Well, there's nothing for me here. I turn around and start to head out, but a small smudge on the door catches my attention. It's our code, the one Raynard and I use, I mean. The symbol has been scribbled onto the door by a newbie. I can see the hesitation in the lines, but it's perfectly legible. I understand it immediately, even though it's not one I use very often. Meeting cancelled. All is well. I smile a little, seeing that chicken scratch, as I imagined Angelo tracing it out with supreme focus, his stinky tobacco heater in his other hand. When D'Angelo wheedled me into teaching him our secret language some months ago, I didn't think it would ever come in handy. I told him to fuck off the first 7 times he asked, then finally I caved in and taught the persistent jerk a single sign, told him to be grateful. So happy he remembered, not only the sign, but also the act of writing it while fleeing for his unlife. He believed I would come looking for him, like I promised. Such friends are rare these days. Thank the gods that for D'Angelo at least, all is well. Again, a detour without a purpose, it seems. Unless, I don't know, maybe I would have discovered something. See, like, there are some loose ends there, like the door to the church, that hidden room in the church, which I couldn't get into because of the animism skill. But, like, what would that have done? And I guess maybe if I just looked at some of those other things there, maybe we would have found a clue, but to what? Anyway, death after death. You know what, we'll end this one here. We'll continue on next time.